Hey friends, Andy here. How you doing? Good to see you. You know, I had my credit card stolen the other day, but I didn't bother to report it because the thief spends less than I do. Moving on. Today we're talking about credit cards, specifically how to get one if you don't have a credit history, and I'll be reviewing my top 6 favorite credit cards for newbie credit card users. Quick spoiler alert, if you're a college student, I recommend the Discover It Student Cashback Card for its excellent rewards program, low but not too low credit limit, and the potential for it to grow with you as you graduate and start to earn a full-time living. If you're not a college student, but either don't have a credit history or are trying to rebuild one, then one of these other cards might be a good choice for you, but which one will depend on your circumstances. If you'd like to know more specifics about these cards and why I recommend them, then stick around. And before we get started, it would be great if you would give me some credit by clicking that like button. It costs you nothing and helps out a bunch. Okay, on to the video. So what's the big deal about credit cards anyway? Aren't we all drowning in credit card debt as it is? Why shouldn't I just keep using a debit card? Seems like it's a lot easier to stay out of trouble. Well, to a certain extent that's true. The majority of Americans do carry too much credit card debt, and if you're not careful, you could be one of them. But let's give credit where credit is due. Credit cards aren't all evil. Dark side of the force pieces of plastic that turn us into zombie shopaholics. The biggest benefits of using credit cards, provided that you use them wisely, is that they are the single best way to build a credit history and get a credit score. Your credit score is a number between 300 and 850. Anything over 670 is considered good, and anything over 800 is considered excellent. And what happens when you have excellent credit, you might ask? Well, you're able to qualify for big loans like mortgages, auto financing, and you'll get better terms like lower interest rates. And when you're talking about a big loan like a mortgage, even a small break on the interest rate can save you thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars over the long term. Okay, so what if you aren't planning on taking out a loan anytime soon? Do you still need a credit history and a credit score? Well, it's still helpful because credit is one of those things that landlords check before they let you rent an apartment. In some cases, employers will run credit checks on job applicants. And if you ever want a line of credit for your business when you start, chances are your lender will look at your personal credit history before approving it. Everyone wants to see that you've got a good track record of being responsible with money. But credit cards come with a kind of catch-22. It's almost impossible to build a credit history without a credit card, but it's really hard to get a credit card if you don't have a credit history. See the conundrum? Actually, scratch that. It's not that hard to get a credit card. It's just hard to get a good one. If you're in college, chances are you've already gotten credit card offers in the mail, but read that fine print carefully. Chances are the interest rates those cards are offering are crazy high, and they probably have relatively high limits as well. That's because those companies are banking, quite literally, on you spending more than you can pay off and forking hundreds or thousands of dollars in interest payments over time. So don't do that for oh so many reasons. That's the kind of behavior that trashes your credit score instead of building it, and you end up in debt for months or years to come. There is a better way. Well, 6 better ways to be specific. Today I'm reviewing 6 credit cards that are aimed squarely at helping people who don't have a credit history build one without getting into trouble. Let's roll.
Let's roll.
First up is the Discover It Secured Credit Card. One very nice thing about this card, no annual fee. In fact, none of the cards I'm recommending in this video have annual fees. Why is that? Because your credit score is based, among other things, on having cards that have been open for a long time. If you get a credit card, have it for a year, then close that account and get a new one that actually hurts your credit score. So getting a card with an annual fee isn't a great idea. You're either stuck paying the fee year after year or taking a hit to your credit score when you close that account. So no annual fee is kind of our baseline qualification. The Discover It Secured card is secured, meaning that you put down a $200 refundable security deposit. In return, you get a $200 line of credit. You can't go too crazy with a $200 limit, and if you consistently pay off your balance in full and on time, then after 8 months, Discover will begin automatic monthly account reviews to see if you qualify to convert to a standard unsecured card. At that point, you get your deposit back, you can ask to have your limit raised, don't go nuts there, and congratulations, you've got yourself a credit card and a credit history. Other benefits include a decent reward system with 1% back on most purchases, 2% back on gas stations chains and restaurants up to $1,000. And right now they're running a special where you can get 2% on all purchases for 1 year. You can also monitor your FICO credit score for free on the Discover platform to see how it's improving over time. The Discover It secured card has a 22.99% APR, which is pretty average. The goal is to pay off your balances in full every month so that you don't need to worry about interest payments, which can be pretty steep. Because this is a secured credit card, it's ideal for people who have no credit history whatsoever or who are trying to rebuild their credit. Next up is the Discover It Student Cashback Card. Surprise, surprise, the Discover It Student Cashback Card is aimed at college students. There's no annual fee, of course, and it comes with some very nice rewards. For one, you can get a $20 credit for every year that your GPA is over 3.0. You get 5% cash back on restaurants, gas stations, grocery stores, and Amazon up to certain limits, and 1% cash back on everything else. And you get a 2x cash back match for your first year. So if you earn $100 in cash back, it gets turned into $200. The APR is 0% for the first 6 months, then it's between 12.99% and 21.99%. The first time you pay late, they'll waive your fee, but after that, it's $40. Late payments are a hit to your wallet and your credit card, so make your payments on time. The credit limit for this card begins at $500, but if you're responsible about paying off your balances, you can ask them to raise it. They want you to keep using your card even after you've graduated. And as we've discussed, you want that too. And they encourage you to contact them with updates about your income when you graduate. Income updates. Next on the list is Secured Mastercard from Capital One. The Capital One Secured Mastercard works on a similar basis to Discover It Secured. Put down a $49, $99, or $200 refundable security deposit and get a credit limit of at least $200. The more money you put down, the higher your credit limit, up to $1,000 limit. What happens to your security deposit? You can earn it back as statement credit by using your card responsibly, or get it back if you close your account and pay your balance in full. And of course, there is no annual fee. Drawbacks include the 26.99% APR, which is on the high side, but again, not a deal breaker if you're consistent about not carrying a balance. A bigger drawback compared to the other cards in this review is that this one doesn't have any rewards. Next up is Visa Petal 2 Cashback Credit Card. Don't be confused, Visa also has a Petal 1 card, which is fine, but the awesome thing about the Petal 2 is that there are no fees. None. Nil. Zero. Nada. Zilch. You get the picture. No annual fees and no late fees alone make it a pretty attractive option, but Petal also has a nice reward program. You get 1% cash back on your purchases, but after you make 6 on-time monthly payments, you'll start earning 1.25% cash back. If you keep it up and make 12 on-time monthly payments, you'll start earning 1.5% cash back. Petal also has an offers program, meaning you can get between 2 to 10% from select merchants when they make special offers, which you can find out about in the Petal app. You can also use the app to check your credit score, get insights about your spending habits, and get help with budgeting. Petal 2 has a variable APR of 12.99% to 26.99% and a credit limit of between $500 and $10,000. You'll get assigned both when you apply for the card. You're pretty much stuck with whatever APR they decide to give you, but they will periodically review your account and credit history and offer you a higher limit if you qualify. Next on the list is Jasper Mastercard. Jasper is aimed squarely at people with limited credit history. They consider your credit history, but they also look at factors like income and employment history to get a more rounded view of your financial picture. One unique feature of Jasper is that you can set it to withdraw payments from your bank account automatically anytime your balance reached a dollar amount that you set. The advantage to this is that you can make sure you never go over 30% of your limit, which is one of the things that credit bureaus look for when they assign you a credit score. One disadvantage, of course, is that you need to be sure that there's always enough in your bank account to cover those payments, or you risk overdrawing your account. Jasper has a very cool referral reward system starting at 1% cash back and get an extra 0.5% for every friend you refer, up to 6% for the first year. If you have a lot of friends who all need credit cards, that's a pretty generous offer. There's no annual fee, of course. The APR is 15.49% to 24.99%, depending on your credit worthiness when you apply, and it is subject to change. The credit limit is a very generous $5,000, which could either be a benefit or a drawback. It's great if you need a card for things like airline flights or hotel expenses, but a $5,000 limit could prove a little too tempting too, so be careful. Jasper might be a good choice for immigrant professionals who are working in the US but haven't established a credit history here yet. Next up is Tomo Card. Tomo is unique in several respects. Not only are there no fees, but the APR is 0, and you can't beat that. Also, there's no credit check. They don't care if you don't have a credit history. They don't even bother looking up your credit score. Instead, they evaluate your financial and employment history and use a proprietary algorithm to establish your credit worthiness. But even though they don't do a credit search on you, they do report to all 3 credit bureaus, giving you a chance to establish or raise your credit score. Credit limits range from $100 to $10,000. Your opening limit is based on whatever the proprietary algorithm decides, but if you make your payments on time and link your account to 1 or more bank accounts, you can raise your limit over time. And finally, they have a 1% cashback rewards program. Sounds great, but is there a catch? Well, kind of. Instead of charging you once a month and letting you carry a balance if you can't pay it off in full, Tomo charges you once a week and does not let you carry a balance at all. Can't pay off your balance in full, card is frozen. That alone isn't so bad and could be a real asset in helping people stay out of debt, but here's the thing to watch for. Tomo automatically deducts your full payment balance every week directly from your bank account. So that's where you need to be really careful. You can't just charge something and pay it off next month when you get paid. You need to be sure the cash is actually in your bank account on Monday morning, or you risk overdrawing your account or not having enough to pay your other bills. So if you're strong on cash but need to work on your credit history, this could be a great option. But if your bank account tends to run a little low, I'd be cautious with this choice. All right, so let's wrap this up. Well, there you have it. Some excellent choices if you're trying to establish or re-establish your credit history. Any of these cards might be a good choice for you depending on what you need, but if you're a student, hands down, I'm going to say the Discover It Student Cashback Card is the way to go. The rewards program is excellent. The $500 limit is a good place to start, and if you ever do need to carry a balance, the APR isn't sky high. If you found this review helpful, I hope you will take a moment to like the video and subscribe for more money-related content on my channel. And while you're at it, follow me on Twitter. I post original content there every single day. And if you've opened an account with any of these cards in the past, let me know what your experience was down in the comments below. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.